Briggs and welcome back to the channel. Back with another ministry technology review. Today we're talking about a camera, the Sony ZV-1. It's been around for a little while, but probably a very good choice if you're looking to get into vlogging. Basically what I'm doing, talking in front of a camera, whether that be for a flipped classroom setting or some kind of updates that you want to provide to the congregation or school parents. Very good choice, especially if I think you want to kind of have a static setup like I have here in front of my home office desk, or if you're in your own office. Could be used for locations, but probably not as good if you're kind of doing the walking, talking kinds of vlogging. The camera angle is a little bit too tight for that. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think in ministry settings, probably some good applications for this camera. Fairly economical. There's actually a new one coming out, an upgraded model, depending on when you're watching this video, I think in September of 2021. But at that point, the ZV-1 is probably going to go on sale, so it'll be even better value. I'm recording this with the camera, so you can kind of see the camera quality, how it captures the lighting, and also accounts for either backlighting or movement in the shot. Does an excellent job. Very good at capturing true color rendering as well. So what are the uses? I think there's probably uses for both teachers and pastors. On the pastoral side, shorter devotions, maybe mini Bible studies would be a good application. Congregational reports that you want to provide. So, obviously you're going to do that in person, hopefully, but there would probably be many people who would take advantage of a video version of it, those that weren't able to come to a meeting, voters meeting, whatever. Sermon extras, those things that didn't quite make it into the sermon that you wanted, enhancement materials that you wanted to provide as an extra, maybe attached to a blog post that you'd make. Topical counseling tips. I think that's a great application. So you're just picking a topic and speaking to it for those that prefer the video format versus maybe reading something that you would post on the website. Flipped catechism lessons, of course. I think some of us always struggle with trying to reach the kids that are maybe further away and can't make it to every lesson, especially public school catechism. So I think there's lots of pastoral uses for this kind of concept of ministry vlogging. So over on the teacher side, I think there's an equal amount of opportunity for use for a system like this. Flipped classroom lessons, of course, are come immediately to mind. Parent updates, educational or how-to videos for colleagues. Individual instruction for virtual students or those with specific needs, maybe even recordings for assessment and personal growth purposes. So I think lots of opportunities here. So what are the key features of this camera, and why does it kind of stand out above all the other potential cameras that are out there, including GoPros and maybe even just using a regular smartphone? I think there are a few. First of all, this takes great video quality. I think you can see the 4K quality coming through, and that's important because you are competing with other video content out there that is of high quality. Fairly wide angle, like I mentioned. You may not want to take this out with a handheld gimbal or whatever and walk around with it because it's going to be very tight. There are kind of aftermarket lenses that you can put on there to widen it a little bit, but in a static setting like this, you can obviously move the camera back and forth, and you've got some flexibility in how it can be used. It's very small. It's not going to be as small as let's say an iPhone or an Android phone, but you're getting obviously a much better lens with this, and it is certainly pocketable. It's got very simple controls. Sony has lots of capabilities within their cameras, and they're kind of buried in some of the menus. But I think they make some of the settings that are most important, right out there in front, so that you can easily get them and you can add shortcuts and get to them that way. A reversible viewfinder window. So as I'm recording now, I can actually see myself, see where I am in the shot, so it articulates and flips around so you can see yourself. That's what makes this camera especially very good for vlogging, where you can see what the camera is seeing and get yourself in frame. So that's one of its greatest features. And you can, I'm probably 4 feet away from the camera at this point, but I can see myself and the surroundings perfectly. You want a decent mic. This one has an onboard mic, and I'm not using it now. I'm using a Rode wireless mic with a lav on my shirt here. But I've also tested the onboard mic, and I think it's perfectly suitable for many purposes. So it comes with a windscreen as well, so that's kind of a nice addition. So I think the audio recording quality is good. It does have an external mic port, so as I mentioned, you can plug in an external microphone, which is great for applications like this if you have a system that permits that. It's got at least 1 hour of battery life, and the record, charge, capabilities can be done at the same time. So I'm recording and charging at the same time. So battery issue is really not one if you're in a situation like this. So I'd say overall the camera is a good choice, fairly reasonable cost, good quality. I think it's durable, and just a good setup if you're looking at getting into vlogging and getting videos out there. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of our Ministry Technology Review. I do publish these, and I'll be actually publishing more in this series on vlogging, including the microphones to use, potential tripods, lighting, those kinds of things that go along with the package. So stay tuned for that and watch for more of those coming up. God bless.